All right, welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're a founder, a CTO, or maybe a CISO trying to navigate the incredibly fast-paced, high-stakes business environment of Boston, you are absolutely in the right place. Today we're walking through a highly practical, totally jargon-free guide to the top cybersecurity companies in Boston for 2026. We are cutting straight through the marketing noise to look at what these companies actually deliver, exactly who they serve best, and how you can confidently choose the right partner before an auditor gives you a full-blown panic attack.
Okay, let's dive right into this because I really want you to picture this exact scenario. It's 6:41 p.m. on a Friday. Your team has been grinding on a massive enterprise deal for months, and boom, an email pops up from the prospect. They want to move forward. But then they casually ask for your SOC 2 report, or maybe your incident response protocol. For a scaling company that hasn't exactly formalized its security posture yet, that single email induces pure visceral panic. Honestly, most companies wait until this exact moment to really think about cybersecurity. But once that email hits, your whole world changes. Every hour is urgent, every misconfigured setting is a massive liability, and every investor suddenly becomes super skeptical. We're going to help you avoid that panic entirely.
So here is our quick addenda for today. 1. Boston's high-stakes tech scene. 2. The top 2026 cyber companies. 3. The hidden cost of failure. 4. The 5-question stress test. And 5. Winning your next deal.
Kicking things off with Section 1, Boston's high-stakes tech scene.
We all know Boston doesn't move slow, right? And it certainly isn't your average market. This city is built on cutting-edge innovation, heavy venture capital, and critical infrastructure. If your company is growing here, you are likely handling something incredibly important. I mean, Boston companies aren't just protecting standard e-commerce data. We're talking about guarding highly sensitive assets. Genomic datasets, healthcare records, proprietary investment strategies, highly complex AI training models, and medical device intellectual property. In these specific sectors, a single breach or even just one misconfigured system can literally destroy a deal you've been chasing for months or completely wipe out years of hard work.
And because of that, compliance isn't just some nice-to-have checklist anymore. It is absolute table stakes for survival and growth in this city. Whether it's SOC 2 or ISO 27001 for a high-trust SaaS company, HIPAA for biotech, NYDFS for financial services, or FDA cybersecurity readiness for medical devices, you have to prove you're secure before anyone will even do business with you. The bar is just higher in Boston, and so are the consequences of failing to meet it.
Moving right along to Section 2, top 2026 cybersecurity companies.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how clearly the market is delineated based on what a company actually needs. Boston is packed with cybersecurity talent, from global heavyweights to specialized boutique firms. You've got major players like Rapid7, which is fantastic if you have a mature team that needs powerful vulnerability management and SIM tools. Cybereason and Carbon Black, absolute leaders in endpoint defense and AI-driven threat hunting. Recorded Future is world-class for dark web threat intelligence, and Mandiant is the elite go-to firm for post-breach incident response. But look at that first one, Atlant Security. They really stand out because they aren't just selling you a monitoring tool. They're a boutique firm heavily focused on audit readiness, cloud hardening, and acting as a virtual CISO for high-growth startups in SaaS, health tech, and fintech.
So let's break down how this actually impacts your vendor selection process. If you're a mature enterprise and you already have a massive internal security team, buying the complex tooling of a large vendor like Rapid7 or securing the elite breach response of Mandiant makes perfect sense. But if you're a startup or a mid-market company trying to close a Series B, or maybe you're trying to pass a brutal ISO audit, simply buying a tool is not going to save you. You need a boutique firm like Atlant Security that will actually roll up the sleeves, build your security program from scratch, harden your cloud architecture, and actively coach your leadership team through investor due diligence. You absolutely have to align your partner with your current growth stage.
Which brings us to Section 3, the hidden cost of failure.
You know, when companies ignore this alignment or they treat security as an afterthought, things go south really quickly. When we talk about cyber risk, everyone's mind immediately goes to hackers and lawsuits. But in a competitive city like Boston, the hidden business costs will kill a scaling company long before a ransomware attack ever does. Just look at these real-world stakes. A failed audit? You're looking at $50,000 to $100,000 in rework, plus a massive loss of trust. A lost enterprise deal because your security questionnaire was weak? That is easily $250,000 to $1 million in deferred revenue. Delayed funding rounds completely stall your growth. And scrambling to fix missing controls on a Friday night leads directly to severe CTO burnout and high turnover.
And hey, if a breach does happen, the average cost of a data breach is a staggering $4.88 million. Now contrast that massive liability with the cost of proactive security readiness. A comprehensive security audit, or SOC2 readiness program, typically runs anywhere between $15,000 and $100,000. When you put it in perspective, it's an incredibly small price to pay to secure millions of dollars in enterprise value.
Let's actually look at some real stories from the Boston front lines to prove that just having basic compliance tools isn't enough. You need execution. For example, a health AI SaaS company came to Atlant Security with 42 failed controls and a tight 60-day deadline. They had the tools, but they totally lacked clarity. Atlant came in, rebuilt their infrastructure, got them audit-ready, and they actually passed both ISO and SOC 2 in just 6 weeks. Or take a wealth tech startup whose investors flagged their security as immature during due diligence. Atlant stepped in, rebuilt the entire security posture, and directly coached the CEO on how to confidently present their security to investors. Execution is the bridge between failing an audit and closing a deal.
All right, Section 4, the 5 questions stress test.
So how do you actually find a partner capable of that level of execution? Well, the very first question you should ask any prospective vendor is simply, do you resell any tools or software? This is designed to uncover hidden biases right off the bat. If a consultant makes a commission off the software they're telling you to buy, their advice is inherently compromised.
And the absolute green light answer you're looking for here is no. We're 100% vendor agnostic. A truly neutral partner, like Atlant Security, for instance, doesn't profit from software sales. They focus entirely on protecting your company. They recommend the tools that actually fit your specific architecture and budget, not the ones that just pad their own bottom line.
Now let's skip ahead to question 3 on this stress test, because honestly, this might be the most important one. Do you help us fix the problems or just report them? This is the classic trap so many scaling companies fall into. They hire an auditor or buy a compliance platform, and what they get back is a massive spreadsheet of 50 things that are broken, with absolutely zero help on how to actually fix them. You want a partner who gives you this green light answer. We walk you through remediation. You need a team that doesn't just point out that your Active Directory is exposed or your cloud architecture is weak. You need experts who will get right into the code, enforce zero trust, harden the infrastructure, and actually write the policies alongside your team. You need a partner, not just an auditor. And finally, Section 5, winning your next deal.
And this brilliantly illustrates the ultimate return on investment when you treat security not as a chore, but as a strategic asset. The ROI of bringing in the right partner isn't just an absence of hackers, it is a clear, vendor-neutral security roadmap. It's an architecture designed for real resilience, it's board-ready executive reporting that genuinely impresses your investors, and it's calm, experienced guidance through the absolute maze of compliance complexity. When you have tailored audit preparation instead of those generic boilerplate templates, you clear the path for your sales team to confidently go out and close massive deals.
Just look at this quote from a medtech co-founder working with Mass General. Atlant didn't just help us pass, they helped us mature. They made us look like a secure, serious company, because now we actually are. In Boston's ecosystem, deals rarely die from product issues, they die from doubt. When an enterprise client or a VC looks at your infrastructure, they are looking for maturity. Proper security completely removes that doubt and transforms your company's entire market perception.
So I want to leave you with a final, slightly provocative thought to take back to your leadership team. Is your current security budget just paying for basic protection, or is it actively buying the perception and the absolute trust that wins enterprise deals? Because security isn't just a defensive measure anymore. It is the ultimate competitive advantage when you're scaling. Take a hard look at your own posture this week and ask yourself if you're truly ready for that Friday evening email. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep building securely.